Okay, today we're here with Billy Thompson, a Broncos great, 13-year professional NFL career, 3-time Pro Bowler. Billy, thank you for sitting down for us for our class project. My name is Jacob Davis.
Thank you.
Ilianna Lopez.
Ilianna Lopez.
Great. We just want to ask you some general questions about your career, maybe about your NFL career, and then about what you're working up to next. And Ilianna's got a few questions for you. She wants to ask.
Okay. Billy, well, thank you again for meeting with us. So what were some of your most influential mentors growing up?
Well, I would say first my parents were my most influential people, and my coaching. Starting off in high school, Coach Mathis, who always taught and always stressed to us, education, sports are great, but education is the most important thing. And then also in college, my college coach was that way also, and my pro coach, Joe Collier, who was my first professional defensive back coach, kind of molded me into the person I am today. So a lot of people that have been close to me and have been responsible for my success, my coaches and my parents.
You were a student athlete. You played both football and baseball. What was that like?
Hard.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to be the best that I could be in sports, and you had to keep a grade point average up anyway, because you couldn't play sports and have bad grades. So you had to sacrifice and study when a lot of your friends were out having a good time and partying, and so had to be very conscious of what you had to do. In other words, time management, getting your work done and getting practice and stuff. So I got pretty good at that.
Awesome. So did you ever contemplate playing professional baseball?
I did, but they were talking to me about going to AAA, which is not, it's like the farm team of the professional team. And I wasn't interested in that. I wanted to play professional level now, and the Broncos gave me that opportunity, and so that's why I chose football.
What kind of pre-draft information were you given? We're going to get into some draft questions here, Ilianna is, but what was your experience like leading up to the draft, like team visits, and who did you feel once you decided you wanted to play football? Who did you feel was going to be the team that was most likely to select you if it wasn't the Broncos?
Well, I wanted to play football if I got the opportunity, but I wasn't counting on it. I finished my degree. I was going to teach in Baltimore and coach. I was going to teach physical education and coach, and I had that going. But if I got the opportunity, I said, I have to take it. So I had plans on my future, what I wanted to do, which I think made it a lot easier for me to take if I didn't get drafted.
Sure.
But there were a couple of guys, about 3 or 4 guys that got drafted from my school, and they said, they're probably looking at you, but I wasn't going out trying to figure out who was looking at me.
Gotcha.
So, but if I got drafted, I would take that opportunity and do the best I could. As a matter of fact, the night that I got drafted, I was at a fraternity party.
Yeah. One of the times you were out actually at the pub, right?
Yes, at a fraternity party. And I got back and they asked me and said, well, where have you been? I go, well, I've been, to a party. And they go, well, here's the number. You got to call Denver now. You got drafted by the Broncos.
Yeah.
I go, who? They go, the Broncos. They said, they don't care what time it is, they want you to call. So it must have been about 11:30. I go, oh my God. So I called, and he said, hello, this is Coach Saban. I said, Coach, this is me, Billy Thompson. He goes, oh, great, Bill, I'm glad to. He said, where were you? I said, well, I was at a fraternity party. So he laughed and he goes, I just want to know, he said, is the Broncos your favorite team? And I said, Coach, no, not really. He said, well, what about now, man? We just drafted you in the 3rd round. I go, hey, Coach, you got me. We got to go to the Super Bowl now. And he said, great, that's what I want to hear. He said, I'm going to fly you out. He said, don't worry, I know you don't have the cash. We're going to fly you out, and everybody wants to meet you. We really think a lot about you, and looking forward to you being a Bronco. He said, you know, we think you're going to be one of our great Broncos. And I said, well, hey, Coach, I'm glad you think about it. I said, I'm a Bronco now. Let's go to work.
Yeah. What were some of your favorite positions to play on the football team?
Well, you know, I was drafted as a cornerback.
Right.
But in high school, I played quarterback. In college, I played running back. One of our guys got hurt, and so I played running back. But my position that I wanted to play was defensive back. And when I came to Denver, Joe Collier was my first coach. He was my defensive back coach, and he actually taught me how to play. And he told me that every week, though, you're going to be on the toughest guy at corner. So when you're on the toughest guy, it means you're isolated from the formation a lot of times, and you man to man, so you're not actually your concentration is on that receiver. And so it made my job pretty easy because this is your guy, no matter where he goes,
Right.
so you're cool. But then after about my 5th year, he called me in and said, we're going to change you to strong safety. And I go, well, why? He says, well, because you'll be more valuable to us. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He said, it will get you more involved in the game. In the game, you're going to be it's going to be stopping the run. Plus, you're going to be in passes. You're going to go with all the motions. You're going to be our guy that makes the adjustments on every play. So then I had to study. I did. And because, I mean, I'm just really like that. You know, everybody's counting on you. It's a team thing, and you got to know your assignment. And that was my goal, was never to make a mistake in any way, especially at practice. I would ask all kinds of questions. What do I do on this? What do I do on that? Make sure when I got into the game that I was really confident of what my assignment was and wanted to do it, because if you didn't, you know, you'd be letting the team down and the whole thing. So, but when I changed from corner to strong safety, it was a huge shift in teaching and talent. And so I was responsible for stopping the run and also stopping the pass. And it really taught me how to play the game, and I'll be grateful for that.
Now let me ask this: when you said that was about your 5th year when you switched to, so then did you feel any sense of urgency to become more of a team leader, or were you already in those shoes as a team leader in your 4th year?
Well, you had Floyd Little here.
Yeah,
so,
right. Great
so,
team, yeah.
oh yeah, so I learned from him. He was my mentor, and Rich Jackson. So you follow the guys who've been there, who have done that. But my rookie year was tremendous success. I led the league in both punt and kickoff returns, and didn't make All-Pro. It was, you know, and I really didn't care, because all I was caring about was how the team did and how I did. But you know, now if you just do one, most of the times you're on the Pro Bowl team. So I felt kind of slighted, because we were in Colorado, and it was like the East Coast media did all the voting. But you know, I just said, hey, move on and let it go at that.
Now, do you feel that that's still the case today?
No.
We got Terrell Davis in, and that was monumental. He's a great Bronco, but I personally feel that there's about 4 or 5, maybe more that are left out of the Hall of Fame. Do you feel that that East Coast bias is still a little bit present in today's voting?
No doubt. I really think so. And I'm a guy that's been here long enough to say that.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah.
And I've seen it. I mean, you know, it's unfortunate. I think what it is that whoever the representative is from the West, it's only one of them, and it's, you know, they are outnumbered by the East Coast media, and so I think it has a lot to do with it. You know, even when we were in the AFC, when they transferred from the AFC to the NFL and grouped it all together, there was some hardship in that.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I do think it's about time we get more guys in there. Floyd took Floyd a long time to get there, and he was one of the greatest backs that I've ever played with. And I've watched Terrell, and Terrell was a great back too, and deserves everything he's gotten, which I think is good.
Right, and I'm one of those proponents for Randy Gradishar.
Absolutely.
Personally, what
Yeah, well,
your teammates.
Well, he's one of my teammates that I've played with, and yes, I mean, one of the great linebackers we've ever had. Tom Jackson, Joe Rizzo, yeah, we had a great team.
Absolutely.
So you were a college scout for the Broncos.
Mhm.
Did you discover any significant players while you were doing that?
No, I didn't, but I did a lot of travel.
Sure.
I did a lot of travel, saw a lot of campuses, which is unbelievable, and saw a lot of talent, but unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to draft any of the guys that I looked at, but what an experience to be there on game time and watch a football game and just be watching the guy that you are looking at and seeing how he plays and his personality and everything. I had a lot of good experience with that.
Good. Were there any players from a lot of players from a certain school that you were looking at when you were a scout?
Well, no, you're assigned to a specific area. Like I had the MAC conference, which is Miami of Ohio, Bowling Green, Toledo, and I had the Big Ten. And I cross-checked with the Atlantic Coast Conference. That means I went down there and looked at some of their guys. So you kind of were regulated to your area of players. And believe me, the Big Ten and the MAC Conference have a lot of great football players.
No, that's all. I think that's all we got. Do you have anything else, Ilianna?
No, I'm done.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Billy.
We really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Hopefully it
Thank you
wasn't
so
too painful.
My pleasure. It wasn't too painful.
Thank you.